Okay, so for the hoop or circumferential tension, so what's the difference between the two? So this hoop tension class or hoop stress, okay, these are created in the walls of our cylindrical body. Okay, just like for example in this picture, ayan. What can you see here? We can see here, we have here a cross-sectional area of a certain cylindrical figure. Let's just say for example, class, this one. Can you see this? This one. Okay, so once you cut this one, so you'll be able to see the inside, which is a curved surface. Now, what is the hoop or where is the hoop? As you can see, the hoop here, or what we call the circumferential tension, is this one, the one that is in the walls of your cylindrical um, storage or your cylinder, okay, created in the walls, and that's the direction class. So whenever for example you have your container, a cylinder just like this, okay? So once this is filled with a fluid, it could be a liquid or a gas just like this one. So what will happen is the walls here will feel a tension, okay? And the direction to that is this one. Pag ganyan siya. There. Okay? And what we call that is hoop or circumferential. From the term itself, class, circumference. Or yung pumapalibot sa kanya. Eto. This one. So what is the tension circumferencing this cylinder here? So that is circumferential tension. And class, we may be able to solve for the intensity of that pressure or tension by using the formula intensity of stress is equal to pressure times radius all over your thickness. Okay? Pressure class, pressure should be in PSI. Your radius should be in your standard units. It should be in meters or in feet. The thickness also should be meter or feet depending on your um, unit system. Now, class, saan banda yung thickness? Saan banda makikita? So the thickness of the wall is this one. For example, I have here a container, right? So the thickness is this one. Can you see it here? This one. This one. This is the thickness. See? This is the thickness that of your cylinder or your wall. Okay? There. Now, how about the radius? The radius obviously is when you look at the cross-sectional area, this one. So the radius here is measured from this one going here, the center, from here, from the edge going to here. Okay, so any point from the edge going to the center, that would be your radius. Okay? And take note that the unit of the stress here will be PSI or Pascal. Okay, PSI for British and Pascal for the SI unit. Now, how about for the longitudinal stress class? By the way, this is your units. Okay, can you see it? This one. There. That one. Okay, so the unit is PSI or Pascal. There. Now, how about for the longitudinal stress? Take note, the longitudinal stress are in thin-walled cylinders. It's like this. So the direction of the longitudinal, from the term itself, class, long. When say long, yung pahaba na part. Nabawa ito. So saan dito yung longitudinal? So obviously, that is the stress felt by this part here, this one. Pag ganun, yung direction niya. Okay? Pero pag circumferential, is etong pumapalibot sa kanya. This one. Okay? That is the circumferential, the hoop, while the longitudinal is this one. Pag ganyan. Now, how are we going to solve for the longitudinal thin-walled. Take note, class, that longitudinal stress, according here, it is, ano sabi dito? Equal to half. Half of your hoop tension. What does it mean? It means that you have to solve first this one, hoop or circumferential tension using this formula, and whatever the value that you have solved, just get the half of that and you'll be able to solve for the longitudinal stress. Okay? Again, longitudinal stress is equal to the half of your hoop stress or hoop tension. Okay? Now, how about for this hydrostatic force on dams? Okay, so dams class, they are not really our focus expertise, of course, because they are mostly done by civil engineering. But of course, you have to have idea. Actually, there are lots of dams class, different types of dams. You have the gravity dam, ayan, different kinds of dam, weight dam, ayan. So, depends on the type of the dam. So, meron ding iba't ibang klaseng forces present on that type of dam. And we will be discussing that later. Okay? So, for now, so yan muna yung coverage ng ating hydrostatic force on surfaces. So, we have how many surfaces? We have plane surface, we have curved surface, okay, and within these surfaces there are forces acting and even stress or tension felt by our surface because of the presence of these fluids. And in this section we will be solving for that value. And again, what's the purpose? Why are we trying to solve these values here? Why are we solving for forces? Why are we solving for this stress? At that point, class, is important. It's because later, when you are now working, maybe in a company, or if you are trying to design, especially in mechanical, when you are trying to design a certain tank, a storage maybe, or maybe if you are working in a construction, like you are constructing a dam, or maybe if you are working, manufacturing, or fabricating a ship, for example, or maybe an aircraft. If you could observe, the aircraft class is a curved surface, right? So the fluid is the air. So what is the force that can be felt if your aircraft is already flying in there? So there's presence of pressure, there's presence of force. So you have to determine those values in order for you to design a certain maybe an aircraft na safe siya. Okay? Because we have learned, if you have your strength of materials, diba? Strength of materials, your engineering mechanics, that structures, bodies are reacting, especially when subjected to loads. The same here, class. Yung mga lalagyan natin, the container, the storage tanks, even the dam, magre-react din sila yan when there's presence of force. Yung water natin, for example, nilagay, o kahit sa ano lang natin, katulad nito, lalagyan ng tubig. So, although, di ba, napakaliit na lalagyan, tapos konti lang yung laman, pero, etong lalagyan natin, it fell, or meron siya na-feel na pressure inside because of the presence of the water. Okay? So, yung gumawa ng ng tumbler na to, is syempre, pinag-aralan din niya ano yung force na ina-exert ni water towards the wall of the cylinder or itong tumbler na to. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta na gumagawa lang nito. Meron tong basihan class, which is this one nga, this topic, which is the hydrostatic force on surfaces. That's why we are discussing this as part of our fluid mechanics, because class, we are dealing with fluids, liquids, gas, and because of that, we have to analyze, okay, before designing, before fabricating a certain product.